Hello, friends. I am Napoleon Hill, and today I am not here to entertain you. I am here to awaken you, because the greatest battle you will ever fight is not in the outside world, it is within your own mind. Most people believe life happens to them, but the truth is, life responds to them. Your mental attitude is the master key. It determines what you attract, what you repel, what you tolerate, and what you become. A positive mental attitude is not blind optimism. It is not pretending everything is fine. It is the disciplined habit of directing your mind even when circumstances try to break you. Every human being is born with two forces inside. One is fear, the other is faith. Whichever one you feed will control your destiny. Most people unknowingly feed fear through negative self talk, through doubt, through listening to the opinions of the crowd, and then they wonder why life feels heavy, why progress feels slow. Why? Confidence disappears. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant there will grow. If you plant doubt, you harvest limitation. If you plant belief, you harvest power. An unbreakable positive mental attitude begins. The moment you see that no condition, no failure, no criticism will have authority over your inner world, circumstances do not shape men. They reveal them. The strongest people you admire did not avoid hardship, they learned how to command. Their thinking while walking through it, a positive mental attitude is developed by repeated control of thought. Not once, but daily your subconscious mind accepts whatever you impress upon it repeatedly, without argument. It does. Not judge, it does not reason, it simply obeys. This is why the words you speak to yourself are more powerful than the words spoken by others. If you constantly tell yourself that life is unfair, that success is for others, that you are unlucky, your subconscious mind accepts these statements as instructions and then it works tirelessly to make them true. But when you deliberately choose to speak words of strength, words of confidence, words of faith, your mind begins to shift. Positive mental attitude is a choice, not a gift, not luck, not personality. It is the result of conscious decision. The moment you decide that you will no longer allow fear to dominate your thoughts, you take the first step toward mastery. Fear survives only in uncertainty, it disappears in action. A person with a positive mental attitude is not someone who never feels fear, it is someone who refuses to obey it. Every great achievement in history was first rejected by doubt, then challenged by fear, and finally rewarded by persistence. If you allow temporary defeat to become permanent failure in your mind, you lose twice. But if you train yourself to see every setback as instruction, your attitude becomes invincible. Your environment does not control you. Your heredity does not control you. Only your habitual thinking does. The world will test you again and again to see whether you truly believe what you claim to believe. Positive mental attitude is proven not when life is easy, but when life applies pressure. Pressure reveals power. The individual who maintains faith while surrounded by uncertainty possesses a force stronger than circumstance. This is why attitude outweighs talent, outweighs education, outweighs opportunity. Because attitude determines how. You use everything else, you may not control what happens today, but you always control the meaning you assign to it, and meaning shapes emotion, emotion shapes action, action shapes destiny. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is built by refusing to surrender your inner authority. No one can discourage you. Without your permission, no event can defeat you unless you accept it as defeat. Hello, friends. Now that you understand the power of your mental attitude, you must understand the direction in which that power moves. A positive mental attitude without direction is energy without aim. It feels good, but it produces little. The strongest attitude in the world becomes unstoppable only when it is connected to a definite purpose. Most people drift through life, they hope, they wish, they wait, but they never decide. And life never responds to wishes. Life responds to decisions. A definite purpose is not a vague desire, it is a clear command issued to your mind. When you know exactly what you want, your mind begins to organize itself around that aim. Clarity creates confidence, confusion creates fear. This is why people with no clear purpose are easily discouraged, easily distracted, easily defeated. Your positive mental attitude becomes unbreakable. When it is anchored to a single dominant goal, every successful person you admire reached that success because they refused to scatter their energy. They chose one direction and persisted. A definite purpose acts like a magnet, it attracts ideas, It attracts people, it attracts opportunities, but only if it is precise. The mind cannot work effectively on vague instructions. If you tell your mind, I want to be successful someday, it has nothing to act upon. But when you say, this is who I am becoming, this is what I am building, this is what I will not quit, your subconscious mind accepts the order. And once it accepts, it begins to search day and night for ways to bring that purpose into reality. This is why faith and purpose must work together. Faith gives power, purpose gives direction without purpose. Positive thinking turns into daydreaming. Without faith, purpose turns into frustration. The union of both creates certainty. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is developed when your purpose becomes stronger than your fear. Fear asks, what if it does not work? Purpose answers, I will continue anyway. Most people quit not because they fail, but because they lose sight of why they started. Your purpose must be written in your mind so clearly that no temporary defeat can erase it. Every challenge, every delay, every obstacle tests your commitment to your purpose. Those tests are not punishment, they are confirmation. Life asks, do you truly want this, or were you only curious? A person with a weak purpose sees obstacles as stop signs. A person with a strong purpose sees them as instructions. This is how attitude hardens. This is how it becomes unbreakable. When you stop negotiating with doubt, your purpose must be backed by emotional involvement. You must feel it, visualize it, live it internally. Because emotion is the language the subconscious mind understands. When your purpose excites you, your attitude becomes self defending. Criticism loses its power, failure loses its sting. Because you are no longer chasing approval, you are fulfilling a mission. This is the difference between people who start strong and those who finish strong. A definite purpose transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary persistence. And persistence is the final test of belief. When your purpose is fixed, your positive mental attitude stops depending on results. You remain steady. Whether progress is visible or not, this inner steadiness is the mark of mastery. This is why men with purpose appear calm in chaos, focused in confusion, strong in uncertainty. They have decided, and the mind obeys decision. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude begins as a choice, but it becomes unbreakable only through discipline. Without discipline, attitude is temporary. With discipline, attitude becomes identity. Self discipline is the ability to command yourself even when emotions resist. Most people believe motivation controls discipline. But the truth is, discipline creates motivation. When you act before you feel ready, your mind learns obedience. Confidence collapses, self discipline restores authority. When you say, I will do this regardless of how I feel, your mind begins to respect you. Respect is the foundation of an unbreakable positive mental attitude. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. It protects your goals from distraction, your focus from chaos, your attitude from circumstances. Every day you face a choice, comfort or control. Comfort feels good now. Control builds strength later. Those who choose comfort repeatedly develop fragile attitudes. Those who choose control develop inner steel. Self discipline trains you to delay gratification. And delayed gratification is the secret behind every lasting success. An undisciplined person needs external encouragement. A disciplined person generates internal power. This internal power is what allows you to stay positive when no one is watching, when no one is praising, when no results are visible. That is real attitude. You do not develop an unbreakable mindset by reacting to life. You develop it by regulating yourself, your thoughts, your habits, your reactions. Discipline begins with thought control. You cannot stop negative thoughts from appearing, but you can refuse to entertain them. What you repeatedly entertain eventually dominates. A disciplined mind interrupts weakness before it becomes belief. Every time doubt arises, discipline asks, is this useful? If not, it is dismissed. This is not denial, this is command. Self discipline also governs habits. Habits are attitudes in motion. What you do daily confirms what you believe internally. If your habits contradict your goals, your attitude will fracture. Consistency is discipline repeated. When you show up, even on days you feel empty, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I am reliable. I am strong. I finish what I start. This message hardens your mindset Discipline removes dependence on mood. Mood is unstable, discipline is permanent. A person controlled by mood will always struggle to remain positive. A person guided by discipline, it reveals its self discipline, also teaches emotional control. Emotions are powerful servants, but destructive masters. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not eliminate emotion, it governs it. You feel fear, but you act. Anyway, you feel fatigue, but you continue anyway. This ability to move forward without emotional permission is mastery. Discipline strengthens your identity when your actions match your words. Self trust grows, and self trust is the backbone of confidence. Confidence is not arrogance, it is certainty, certainty that you will do what you said you would do. Each disciplined action deposits belief into your mental bank. Over time, that belief compounds. And what once required effort becomes automatic. This is how attitude becomes unbreakable. Not through motivation, not through inspiration, but through disciplined repetition. Self discipline eliminates inner conflict. When the mind and actions agree, energy flows. When they conflict, energy leaks. Most people are tired, not from work, but from inner contradiction. Discipline resolves that conflict. You no longer argue with yourself. You execute, execution builds. Momentum strengthens belief, belief reinforces attitude. This is the cycle of inner power. A disciplined life is a focused life, and focus is the enemy of fear. Fear survives on scattered attention. Discipline narrows. Attention to what matters and what you focus on expands. This is why disciplined individuals appear calm even under stress. They are not emotionless, they are controlled. Control is freedom, freedom from impulse, freedom from doubt. Freedom from weakness. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude cannot survive without confidence, and confidence cannot exist without belief. Self belief is not something you are born with, it is something you condition. Most people wait for proof before they believe, but powerful people believe before proof appears. This is the difference between weak confidence and unbreakable confidence. Confidence is not loud, it is steady. It does not need validation, it does not seek permission. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is rooted in the certainty that you can figure things out, not that you already know everything, but that you trust your ability to. Learn, adapt, and persist. Self belief begins internally, not externally. The world does not decide your worth. You do. Every time you doubt yourself, you hand your power to circumstances. Every time you affirm yourself, you reclaim it. Your subconscious mind does not argue, it accepts repetition. This is why autosuggestion is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. You become what you repeatedly tell yourself. Words are not harmless, they are instructions. When you say, I am not good enough, your mind believes you. When you say, I will find a way, your mind begins searching. Autosuggestion is the process of programming your own belief system. You either do it consciously or society does it for you. An unbreakable mindset requires deliberate programming. You must speak to yourself with authority, not emotionally, but intentionally. Confidence grows when your inner dialogue supports your direction. Most people sabotage themselves not through failure, but through internal language. They predict defeat before action begins. This destroys positive mental attitude. At its root, confidence is built. When thought and purpose align, you must decide who you are becoming and then repeatedly affirm that identity. Your mind learns through consistency, not intensity. One powerful affirmation repeated daily is stronger than 1,000 emotional speeches. Autosuggestion works because the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagined experience and real experience. When you consistently visualize success, speak success, and expect success, your mind prepares your behavior to match that expectation. Confidence is expectation reinforced. This is why people with strong belief appear calm in uncertainty. They are not sure of outcomes, they are sure of themselves. An unbreakable positive. Mental attitude is not the absence of fear, it is the refusal to let fear define you. Confidence allows you to act while afraid. Fear asks, what if you fail? Confidence responds, I will learn. This response neutralizes fear. Confidence also protects your attitude from criticism. When belief is internal, external opinions lose authority. Criticism only hurts when it confirms a doubt you already have. When self belief is solid, criticism becomes Irrelevant. You do not defend, you continue. Auto-suggestion strengthens confidence through repetition under emotion. What you say to yourself when you are tired, discouraged, or uncertain is what truly shapes belief. This is when conditioning occurs. When you maintain positive internal dialogue during difficulty, you train your mind to remain stable under pressure. Stability is power. Confidence also grows through small, consistent wins. Every kept promise to yourself reinforces belief. Every unfinished commitment erodes it. This is why self belief is tied to discipline. Confidence is self trust in action. You trust yourself because you follow through. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is supported by the certainty that you will not abandon yourself. This certainty eliminates inner fear. You stop fearing failure because you no longer fear yourself. Autosuggestion must be practiced daily, not occasionally, not emotionally, but systematically. Your mind becomes what it hears most often. Let it hear strength, certainty, and direction. Confidence is not pretending, it is conditioning. Condition your mind and your attitude. Becomes automatic. Hello, friends. Your mental attitude does not exist in isolation. It is influenced, shaped, and reinforced by the environment you live in. Many people try to stay positive while remaining surrounded by negativity. This is not strength. This is self sabotage. A positive mental attitude becomes unbreakable only when you control what enters your mind. Your environment is the silent teacher that educates you every day. The people you listen to, the content you consume, the conversations you tolerate, all of them instruct your subconscious mind. You do not become weak suddenly, you absorb weakness gradually. Negativity spreads through exposure, not intention. This is why environment matters. Your mind is a fertile field. Whatever is planted repeatedly will grow. If you surround yourself with doubt, complaints, excuses, your attitude will fracture. No matter how strong your intentions are, an unbreakable positive mental attitude requires selective association. You must decide who has access to your mind. Not everyone deserves a voice. In your inner world, people who constantly complain are not harmless. They normalize limitation. People who fear change project their fear as advice. If you listen without awareness, their fear becomes your hesitation. This is not cruelty, this is clarity. Protecting your mental attitude is an act of self respect. You do not argue with negativity, you remove exposure to it. Environment also includes what you watch, what you hear, what you repeatedly consume. Your subconscious mind does not filter entertainment, it absorbs emotion, violence, drama, fear based content, trains your nervous system to remain tense. A tense mind cannot remain positive. Calm is the foundation of an unbreakable attitude. This is why disciplined individuals guard their input. They do not feed their mind with chaos and expect clarity. Association shapes belief. If everyone around you doubts, your mind begins to doubt. If everyone around you complains, your mind learns to complain. But when you associate with focused, growth oriented, forward moving people, your mind adapts upward. You rise or fall to the level of your dominant environment. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is developed by intentional exposure. Expose yourself to ideas that stretch you, voices that challenge you, not comfort you, energy that elevates you, not drains you. This also applies to your physical space. A cluttered environment creates mental noise, order creates clarity. When your surroundings are intentional, your thinking becomes intentional. This is not superstition, this is psychology. Your brain associates space with behavior. Chaos trains distraction. Order trains focus. Control your space and you begin controlling your state. Environment also includes the goals of people around you. People without goals will question yours. People without vision will mock discipline. This is not malice. It is self defense. When others see you changing, they feel threatened, not because you judge them, but because your growth reflects their stagnation. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not seek approval, it seeks alignment, alignment between vision and association. You must be willing to walk alone before you walk with leaders. Solitude is not loneliness, it is preparation. Many people fail because they allow their environment to vote on their destiny. Your destiny is not a democracy. You decide. Environment also includes your inner environment, the thoughts you allow to repeat. If you rehearse past failures, your attitude weakens. If you rehearse future success, Your attitude strengthens mental association is as powerful as physical association. Choose what you mentally associate with your attitude becomes unbreakable. When negativity cannot reach it, not because you are stronger, but because your selective strength is not tolerance. Strength is choice. A protected mind is a powerful mind. This is why highly successful individuals appear detached. They are not cold. They are focused. They understand that constant exposure creates constant influence, and influence shapes identity. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is built by guarding what you see, what you hear, and who you allow to speak into your life. Hello, friends. If you want a positive mental attitude that cannot be broken, you must change your relationship with failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a component of it. Most people lose their positivity. Not because they fail, but because they misunderstand failure. They see it as a verdict instead of instruction. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is built when failure stops being personal. Failure is not saying you are. Incapable failure is saying this method did not work. When you separate your identity from the outcome, your attitude stabilizes. Fragile minds personalize setbacks. Strong minds analyze them. Every setback carries information. And information is power. The moment you extract the lesson, failure loses its emotional weight. It becomes neutral, and neutrality restores control. Control is the foundation of a positive mental attitude. People who fear failure, live. Cautiously caution slowly erodes confidence. People who accept failure move boldness, strengthens belief. An unbreakable mindset does not ask, will I fail? It asks, what will this teach me? This shift alone transforms pressure into progress. Failure tests your commitment, not your potential. Temporary defeat is not permanent loss, it is a delay with purpose. Most people quit during the delay. Those with unbreakable attitude adjust and continue. This is the difference between stagnation and growth. Failure becomes destructive only when you stop. As long as you continue, failure is educational. The strongest people are not those who avoid mistakes, they are those who recover quickly. Recovery speed determines long term success. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is trained by refusing to dwell. Dwelling multiplies pain, learning multiplies strength. Every failure asks a question. Will you interpret this as rejection or redirection? If you see rejection, your attitude collapses. If you see redirection, your attitude sharpens. Life does not punish ambition, it refines it. Refinement requires friction. Friction creates heat. Heat creates transformation. Those who escape friction remain unchanged. Those who endure friction evolve. An unbreakable attitude is not optimistic blindness, it is resilient clarity. You see reality, but you do not surrender to it. You adapt. Failure also eliminates illusion. It reveals what is weak, what is unprepared, what must be strengthened. This revelation is a gift. Weakness exposed can be corrected, weakness ignored becomes limitation. People who remain positive only when things go well are not strong, they are conditional. An unbreakable positive mental attitude exists independently of results. It is anchored in effort, not outcome. You judge yourself by how you respond, not by what happens. This internal standard creates emotional stability. Stability is confidence. Confidence fuels persistence. Persistence transforms failure into stepping stones. Many people stop. 1. Adjustment before success. They mistake resistance for impossibility. Resistance is proof that growth is occurring. Comfort does not produce strength, challenge does. When you learn to welcome challenge, your attitude becomes fearless. Fearless does not mean fearless of pain, it means fearless of learning. This is why disciplined individuals recover faster. They do not dramatize setbacks, they diagnose them. Diagnosm, rediagnosis. Your mental attitude hardens when you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can this build in me? This question shifts power inward. An inward source of power cannot be taken away. Failure cannot destroy you unless you cooperate with it. Refuse cooperation, and failure becomes fuel. Fuel accelerates momentum. Momentum strengthens belief. Belief reinforces attitude. This cycle is what creates mental invincibility. Every person with an unbreakable positive mental attitude has a history of setbacks, but they do not rehearse them emotionally. They reference them strategically, they extract wisdom and move forward. This is emotional maturity. Maturity is the ability to experience disappointment without surrendering direction. An unbreakable mindset is not fragile optimism. It is informed confidence, confidence built on experience, not fantasy. Failure is the price of progress. Pay it willingly, and it stops intimidating you. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude becomes unbreakable when your emotions stop controlling your decisions. Emotions are powerful forces, but they are not leaders, they are signals. Most people allow emotion to decide direction. Strong people allow emotion to inform direction. This distinction determines mental strength. An uncontrolled emotional life creates instability. Instability destroys positivity. You cannot maintain a positive mental attitude. If your emotional state changes with every external event, emotional control does not mean emotional suppression. It means emotional mastery. You feel anger, but you do not act from it. You feel fear, but you do not obey it. You feel disappointment, but you do not surrender to it. This ability separates resilient minds from fragile ones. Emotions arise automatically. Responses are. Chosen and unbreakable mindset is built in the space between stimulus and response. That space is discipline applied emotionally. Most people react instantly because they have never trained delay. Delay is power. When you pause internally before responding, you reclaim control. Control stabilizes attitude. Emotional reactions are habits, and habits can be trained if you repeatedly react with frustration. Your mind learns frustration. If you repeatedly respond with calm, your mind learns strength. Strength is learned behavior. A positive mental attitude collapses. When emotion overrides reason, reason restores balance. Balance creates consistency. Consistency builds confidence. Confidence reinforces positivity. This is the emotional cycle. Of inner mastery, emotional control begins with awareness. You cannot control what you do not observe. Most people feel emotion but never name it. Unnamed emotion controls behavior, named emotion loses power. When you identify what you are feeling, you separate identity from emotion. You are not angry, you are experiencing anger. This separation prevents emotion from defining you. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is rooted in identity, not emotional state. You are stable, even when emotion is unstable. This stability is psychological strength. Emotional discipline also prevents burnout. Uncontrolled emotion drains energy, controlled emotion channels. Anger can become focus, fear can become preparation, disappointment can become refinement. Emotion is raw material. Discipline shapes it. Without discipline, emotion destroys. With discipline, emotion empowers. Many people believe positive mental attitude allows. Sadness allows frustration, allows fatigue, but it does not allow defeat. Defeat is a decision, not an emotion. Emotional control ensures that emotion does not make decisions. You decide. This decision making authority is the foundation of mental sovereignty. Sovereignty means self rule. A self ruled mind cannot be dominated by circumstances. Circumstances may influence feeling, but they do not dictate direction. This is emotional independence. People who lack emotional control seek external validation. Validation dependency creates emotional volatility. Volatility weakens attitude. An emotionally disciplined person validates internally. They do not rise with praise or collapse. With criticism, they remain steady. Steadiness is the mark of mastery. Emotional control also strengthens resilience. Resilience is not toughness, it is recovery speed. The faster you regain emotional balance, the stronger your attitude becomes. Lingering emotion magnifies pain. Quick regulation preserves momentum. Momentum sustains positivity. This is why emotionally strong individuals appear calm in crisis. They are not detached, they are trained. Training replaces instinct. Emotional discipline must be practiced during small moments, daily irritations, minor disappointments, ordinary stress. These are training grounds. If you master small emotions, large emotions lose control. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is built gradually through repeated regulation. Regulation becomes automatic. Automatic control is freedom from impulsive reactions, freedom from emotional exhaustion, freedom from inner chaos. This freedom allows sustained positivity. Positivity that does not depend on mood, on praise, on outcome, but on command. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude becomes truly unbreakable only when it is reinforced by persistence. Without persistence, positivity is temporary. With persistence, positivity becomes permanent. Persistence is the decision to continue long after enthusiasm disappears. Most people begin with excitement, but quit when repetition starts. They mistake boredom for failure. Persistence understands that repetition is the price of mastery. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is not built in moments of inspiration, it is built in moments of monotony, when nothing feels exciting yet you continue. This is where power is forged. Persistence is not stubbornness, it is commitment guided by purpose. Stubbornness resists learning, persistence adapts and continues. Every goal worth achieving will test your willingness to stay consistency. Consistency is persistence in action. Your mind resists repetition because repetition feels slow, but growth is always slow. Before it is sudden, those who quit early never experience the sudden phase. Persistence keeps you present long enough for momentum to form. Momentum is invisible at first, but unstoppable once created. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is fueled by the certainty that effort compounds even when progress is not visible. Most people lose positivity because they expect immediate reward. When reward delays, they doubt themselves. Persistence removes dependence on reward. You act because you decided, not because you feel encouraged. This independence is mental strength. Persistence also trains patience. Impatience weakens attitude. Patience stabilizes it. A patient mind does not panic under delay. Delay is neutral. Only interpretation makes it painful. Persistence interprets delay as preparation. Every delay strengthens endurance. Endurance expands capacity. Capacity determines success. A person with weak persistence needs constant validation. A person with strong persistence validates internally. They do not require applause. To continue, they trust the process. This trust protects positive mental attitude from discouragement. Discouragement only wins when persistence stops. As long as you continue, discouragement has no authority. Persistence also neutralizes doubt. Doubt survives on inaction. Action exposes doubt. As imagination, when you keep moving, doubt loses relevance. An unbreakable mindset does not argue with doubt, it outworks. It persistence transforms obstacles into endurance tests. Obstacles are not signals to stop, they are measurements of commitment. If the obstacle did not matter, it would not exist. Important goals attract resistance. Resistance confirms value. Persistence interprets resistance as confirmation, not discouragement. This interpretation protects attitude. Most people stop right before breakthrough, not because they lack ability, but because they lack endurance. Endurance is trained through repeated continuation. Each time you continue, despite fatigue, despite uncertainty, despite slow results, your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, you become someone who finishes. This identity shift is the foundation of unbreakable positivity. Persistence also eliminates fear of effort. Effort becomes familiar. Familiar effort stops intimidating the mind. When effort no longer intimidates, your attitude stabilizes. You no longer fear work. You expect it. Expectation removes resistance. Persistence builds inner certainty, certainty that no matter how long it takes, you will remain present. This certainty creates calm. Calm sustains positivity. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is calm under repetition. It does not need excitement, it needs direction. Direction plus persistence equals inevitability. Inevitability is confidence. Confidence reinforces positivity. This cycle is the architecture of success. Persistence is the bridge between desire and reality. Without it, desire collapses. With it, reality bends. Many people possess talent, few possess persistence. Talent begins journeys, persistence completes them. Completion builds belief, belief strengthens. Attitude fuels persistence. This is the closed loop of mental power. Persistence also teaches humility. You accept that mastery requires time. This acceptance removes frustration. Frustration drains energy. Persistence preserves it. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not rush growth, it allows growth. It shows up again and again and again. Showing up is the ultimate form of belief. Belief expressed through action cannot be broken. Hello. Friends, a positive mental attitude reaches its highest strength when it is supported by faith. Faith is not blind belief, faith is inner certainty without visible evidence. Most people wait for proof before they believe. Strong. Minds believe first and allow proof to follow. This order determines mental power. Faith is the ability to move forward without reassurance, without applause, without immediate results. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is impossible without faith because reality will test you long before it rewards you. During these tests, only faith keeps attitude stable. Faith is not emotional excitement, it is quiet confidence. It does not shout, it does not explain, it does not argue, it continues. When you have faith, you stop asking, is this working? You start asking, how can I improve this shift? Protects your attitude from doubt. Doubt feeds on uncertainty. Faith neutralizes it. Uncertainty exists externally. Faith is internal. You cannot control outcomes, but you can control belief. Control of belief is control of direction. Faith allows patience. Patience allows persistence. Persistence allows results. This sequence is the structure of achievement. People without faith require constant reassurance. Reassurance dependency weakens positivity. People with faith generate internal reassurance. They do not panic when progress slows, they do not collapse when criticism appears, they remain stable. Stability is strength. Faith also protects attitude from emotional exhaustion. When you believe deeply, you stop overthinking. Overthinking drains energy, faith conserves it. Conserved energy sustains long term positivity. Faith does not deny difficulty, it transcends it. You acknowledge obstacles, but you do not worship them. You see delay, but you do not surrender to it. Faith keeps your mind future oriented. A future oriented mind does not drown in present discomfort. This orientation maintains motivation. Motivation grounded in faith is resilient. Faith also strengthens identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who will succeed, not someone who hopes to succeed. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior reinforces attitude. This cycle creates inner alignment. Alignment eliminates inner conflict. Inner conflict is the enemy of positive mental attitude. Faith resolves conflict by eliminating hesitation. When you believe, you stop negotiating. Negotiation weakens decision. Decision strengthens direction. Direction stabilizes attitude. Faith also eliminates fear of judgment. You no longer perform for approval, you perform from conviction. Conviction is self sustaining. External opinions lose authority when internal belief is strong. This freedom strengthens positivity. Faith also helps you endure solitude during growth. You may walk alone. Faith assures you that solitude is temporary. Temporary isolation precedes expansion. Those without faith fear isolation for preparation. Preparation strengthens capability. Capability strengthens confidence. Confidence reinforces attitude. Faith allows you to remain calm under uncertainty. Calm preserves clarity. Clarity enables better decisions. Better decisions create progress. Progress reinforces faith. This cycle makes attitude unbreakable. Faith also changes how you interpret setbacks. Without faith, setbacks feel personal. With faith, setbacks feel purposeful. Purposeful interpretation prevents discouragement. Discouragement cannot survive in a mind governed by faith. Faith is not passive, it is active. Trust, trust expressed through action. Action confirms belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Attitude fuels further action. This loop creates momentum. Momentum makes success inevitable. Faith also removes desperation. Desperation weakens positivity. Faith creates assurance. Assurance allows patience. Patience allows precision. Precision produces results. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not rush outcomes. It trusts timing. Timing reveals mastery. Faith is the bridge between intention and manifestation. Without it, the mind collapses under pressure. With it, the mind remains stable. Stable minds win long games. Short term thinkers burn out. Faith is long term thinking, applied emotionally. This emotional endurance is rare, and rarity creates advantage. Faith also deepens gratitude. Gratitude stabilizes emotion, stability strengthens attitude. A grateful mind cannot remain negative. Gratitude and faith reinforce each other. Together, they create mental immunity. Immunity from fear, from doubt, from discouragement. This immunity is unbreakable positivity. Faith is not learned overnight, it is trained through repetition. Every time you continue, without proof, every time you believe, without evidence, every time you remain calm, without certainty, faith grows, growth strengthens attitude. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude becomes permanent when it is anchored to a clear vision. Without vision, positivity drifts. With vision, positive advances. Vision is not imagination, vision is intention made visible. Most people think positively, but see vaguely. Vague vision produces weak direction. A clear vision gives your mind something to move toward. When the destination is clear, the journey becomes tolerable, unbreakable. Positivity is not. Blind optimism, it is focused expectation, expectation guided by vision. Vision organizes effort when you know exactly what you are building, why you are building it, and who you are becoming. Your attitude stabilizes instability. Comes from uncertainty. Vision eliminates uncertainty. Uncertainty creates fear. Vision replaces fear with direction. A person without vision reacts to life. A person with vision directs life. Direction is power. Your mind needs pictures, not just words. The subconscious mind responds to images. This is why visualization is not fantasy. It is conditioning. When you repeatedly visualize your desired future, your mind begins aligning behavior to match that. Image alignment removes inner conflict. Conflict drains positivity. Clarity restores it. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is sustained by seeing beyond the present. The present may be difficult, but vision keeps you future oriented. A future oriented mind does not collapse under temporary discomfort. Temporary pain loses authority. Vision also provides emotional fuel. When motivation fades, vision remains. Motivation is emotion. Vision is structure. Structure survives mood changes. This is why people with vision remain consistent. Consistency strengthens belief. Belief reinforces attitude. Vision must be detailed. General goals produce general effort. Specific vision produces precision. Precision increases effectiveness. Effectiveness builds confidence. Confidence strengthens positivity. Vision also filters distractions. When your vision is clear, distractions lose appeal. Appeal depends on confusion. Confusion invites temptation. Vision closes the door. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is protected by clarity. You stop chasing everything and commit to one direction. Commitment removes anxiety. Anxiety comes from too many options. Vision simplifies choice. When faced with a decision, you ask, does this move me closer or farther from my vision? This question prevents emotional decisions. Emotional decisions weaken attitude. Vision based decisions stabilize it. Vision also helps you endure criticism. Critics see your present, visionaries see your future. When your future is vivid, present judgment loses impact. You stop explaining and start executing. Execution builds momentum. Momentum reinforces belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Vision must be revisited daily, not occasionally. Daily repetition conditions. Belief shapes identity. Identity governs behavior. Behavior confirms attitude. This loop creates mental permanence. Vision also expands tolerance for delay. Delay feels unbearable without vision. With vision, delay becomes preparation. Preparation increases capability. Capability increases confidence. Confidence stabilizes positivity. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is calm about timing. It trusts the process. Trust eliminates desperation. Desperation weakens focus. Focus sharpens vision. Sharp vision guides effort. Effort produces progress. Progress reinforces vision. Vision also unifies your actions. Without vision, effort scatters. With vision, effort compounds. Compounding effort creates exponential growth. Growth strengthens belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Vision also protects you from comparison. When your path is clear, other paths lose relevance. Comparison requires uncertainty. Vision removes it. You stop measuring and start building. Building creates pride. Pride in effort, not arrogance. Healthy pride strengthens attitude. Vision transforms sacrifice into investment. Without vision, sacrifice feels like loss. With vision, sacrifice feels purposeful. Purpose sustains positivity. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is purpose driven, purpose clarified by vision. Vision is the mental blueprint of your future identity. You are not trying to become someone, you are rehearsing becoming. Rehearsal prepares reality. This is why athletes visualize. Before performance, the mind performs first. Vision creates familiarity. Familiarity reduces fear. Fearlessness stabilizes attitude. Vision must be emotionally charged. Emotion fuels commitment. Without emotion, vision fades. With emotion, vision commands action. Emotion connects vision to subconscious. Power, subconscious power drives consistency. Consistency builds mastery. Mastery reinforces confidence. Confidence stabilizes positivity. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude collapses. When the mind hesitates, hesitation is the silent destroyer of confidence, of momentum, of belief. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is built on the ability to make decisions quickly and stand by them firmly. Indecision drains mental energy. Every undecided thought creates internal conflict. Conflict weakens attitude. Decision restores alignment. Alignment creates power. Most people do not fail because they choose wrongly. They fail because they choose slowly and doubt constantly. Doubt after decision is more dangerous than a wrong decision because doubt erodes self trust. Self trust is the backbone of positive mental attitude. When you make a clear decision, your mind organizes around it. When you delay decision, your mind scatters. Scattered energy cannot remain positive. Decision concentrations, energy concentration produces confidence. Confidence stabilizes attitude. An unbreakable mindset does not wait for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions do not exist. Waiting trains weakness. Deciding trains strength. Strong people understand that clarity is created by action, not before it. You decide, then clarity follows. Every decision reinforces identity. When you decide and act, your mind learns I am decisive. This identity strengthens attitude. Indecision teaches the opposite. It teaches hesitation, fear, dependence. Dependence weakens positivity. Decision making power is not about being right, it is about being committed. Commitment eliminates inner argument. Inner argument drains focus. Focus sustains positivity. An unbreakable positive mental attitude requires mental authority. Authority comes from decisiveness. When you decide, you stop asking others for permission. External permission weakens internal confidence. Internal confidence strengthens attitude. Decisive. People are calm not because they know the outcome, but because they trust themselves. Trust removes anxiety, anxiety erodes positivity. Decision also protects you from emotional manipulation when your direction is clear. Other opinions lose control. You listen, but you are not swayed. Stability under influence is mental strength. Decision also accelerates learning. Wrong decisions teach quickly. No decisions teach nothing. Learning builds competence. Competence builds confidence. Confidence reinforces attitude. Most people fear decisions because they fear mistakes, but mistakes correct direction. Indecision stops movement. Movement keeps attitude alive. An unbreakable positive. Mental attitude is built by motion. Motion begins with decision. Decision also eliminates procrastination. Procrastination is disguised fear. Fear delays decision confronts. Once a decision is made, action becomes easier. Ease of action preserves positivity. Decision making also governs time. Indecisive people waste time. Decisive people invest it. Investment mindset strengthens purpose. Purpose sustains attitude. Every time you decide and move forward, despite uncertainty, your confidence compounds. Compounding confidence creates mental dominance. Mental dominance is calm certainty. Certainty stabilizes positivity. An unbreakable mindset does not revisit decisions emotionally, it reviews them strategically. Emotional review reopens doubt. Strategic review improves execution. Improvement strengthens belief. Belief reinforces attitude. Decision also sharpens responsibility. Once you decide, you accept ownership. Ownership empowers. Blame weakens. Empowered minds remain positive. Blaming minds collapse. Decision creates self respect. When you respect yourself, your attitude becomes self protecting. You stop tolerating weakness, you move forward. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is decisive under pressure. Pressure reveals, not destroys, mental strength. Those who hesitate under pressure were already undecided internally. Decisiveness is trained through repeated choice. Small decisions matter. Each small decisive action builds the habit. Habit becomes character. Character determines. Destiny decision driven individuals appear confident. Confidence attracts opportunity. Opportunity reinforces belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude becomes unbreakable. The moment you accept total responsibility for your life, your results, and your reactions, responsibility is power. The moment you blame, you surrender control. Blame weakens attitude. Responsibility strengthens it. Most people lose positivity not because life is hard, but because they give life authority over their emotions. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is built on self ownership. You own your choices, you own your effort, you own your response. When you take responsibility, you stop feeling like a victim. Victim mentality destroys positivity. Victims wait. Leaders act. Responsibility transforms waiting into action. Action restores confidence. Confidence stabilizes attitude. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can control how you interpret it. Interpretation creates emotion. Emotion influences attitude. When you accept responsibility, you change interpretation. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You ask, what can I do now? This question returns power. Power fuels positivity. Responsibility also eliminates excuses. Excuses sound comforting, but they silently poison confidence. Every excuse trains. Helplessness weakens attitude. An unbreakable mindset does not explain failure, it corrects course. Correction produces growth, growth reinforces belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Taking responsibility also sharpens focus. When you stop blaming, you stop looking outward, you start looking inward. Inner focus creates clarity. Clarity stabilizes positivity. Responsibility also builds emotional maturity. Maturity is the ability to face reality. Without collapse, collapse happens when expectations exceed responsibility. When you accept responsibility, expectations become realistic. Realistic expectations prevent discouragement. Discouragement erodes positivity. Responsible individuals remain calm under pressure. They do not ask who is at fault, they ask what is required. This mindset preserves momentum. Momentum sustains attitude. Responsibility also strengthens resilience. When you own outcomes, you stop fearing failure. Fail becomes feedback, feedback builds capability. Capability increases confidence. Confidence reinforces positivity. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is not dependent on fairness. Life is not always fair, but responsibility ensures progress, regardless of fairness. Progress restores hope. Hope stabilizes attitude. Responsibility also eliminates envy. Envy requires comparison. Comparison weakens focus. Responsibility centers attention on improvement. Improvement creates satisfaction. Satisfaction sustains positivity. When you take responsibility, you stop expecting rescue. Expectation of rescue creates passivity. Passivity weakens attitude. Self reliance strengthens. Its self reliance is confidence in your ability to respond. Responsibility is the root of responsibility. Responsibility is not burden, it is freedom. Freedom from complaint, freedom from helplessness, freedom from excuses. This freedom allows mental stability. Mental stability creates unbreakable positivity. Responsible individuals do not waste energy on resentment. Resentment drains power. Responsibility redirects energy toward solutions. Solutions generate progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Taking responsibility also increases self respect. When you respect your mindset, you refuse to indulge in negativity. Negativity loses access. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is self defended. It does not wait for conditions to improve, it improves itself. Self improvement is empowering. Empowerment sustains positivity. Responsibility also sharpens discipline. You stop negotiating with weakness. You do what must be done. Doing what must be done builds character. Character stabilizes attitude. Every time you say, this is my responsibility, you strengthen your identity. Identity governs behavior. Behavior reinforces belief. Belief stabilizes attitude. This is the internal loop of personal power. An unbreakable mindset is rooted in ownership. Ownership removes fear. Fearlessness stabilizes positivity. When you accept responsibility, you become proactive. Proactivity eliminates anxiety. Anxiety weakens attitude. Control restores it. You may not control events, but you control effort. Effort is enough to sustain positivity. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude becomes deeply rooted when gratitude becomes a habit, not an occasional reaction. Gratitude is not politeness, gratitude is power. A grateful mind cannot remain negative for long. Negativity feeds on lack, gratitude feeds on abundance. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is built when you train your mind to recognize progress even when perfection is absent. Most people wait for success before they feel grateful. Strong minds feel grateful first and allow success to follow this order. Determines emotional stability. Gratitude shifts focus from what is missing to what is working. Focus determines emotion. Emotion influences attitude. When you focus on progress, your attitude strengthens. When you focus on problems, your attitude weakens. Problems exist, but attention magnifies. Gratitude does not deny difficulty, it reorders importance. Difficulty becomes temporary. Opportunity becomes central. This reordering preserves positivity. Gratitude also trains patience. Impatience is born from unmet expectation. Gratitude resets expectation. When you appreciate the present, you stop rushing the future. Rushing creates anxiety. Anxiety erodes positivity. Gratitude calms the mind. Calm stabilizes attitude. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is calm under uncertainty. Gratitude also strengthens faith. When you acknowledge what has already been achieved, you build trust in what can be achieved. Trust reduces doubt. Doubt weakens attitude. Gratitude reinforces confidence. Confidence sustains positivity. Positive expectation works with gratitude. Expectation directs the mind forward. Gratitude stabilizes the mind in the present. Together, they create balance. Balance is mental strength. Positive expectation is not wishful thinking, it is disciplined anticipation. You expect progress. Because you are committed to effort, this expectation protects attitude from disappointment. Disappointment occurs when expectation is unrealistic. Positive expectation is realistic. It expects growth, not perfection. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not expect ease, it expects learning. Learning transforms setbacks into experiences. Experience strengthens belief. Belief reinforces attitude. Gratitude also eliminates entitlement weakens resilience. Resilient minds appreciate effort, not reward alone, appreciation of effort. Sustains motivation. Motivation grounded in gratitude is stable. Gratitude also neutralizes comparison. Comparison steals joy. Joy fuels positivity. A joyful mind is a powerful mind. Powerful minds persist. Persistence strengthens attitude. When you practice gratitude daily, you condition your emotional response. Your mind begins searching for value instead of deficiency. This search changes perception. Perception shapes reality. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is rooted in constructive perception. Gratitude also improves emotional recovery. When setbacks occur, grateful minds recover faster. They extract value instead of rehearsing loss. Rehearsal of loss magnifies pain. Extraction of value builds wisdom. Wisdom strengthens attitude. Positive expectation also governs action. When you expect progress, you behave confidently. Behavior reinforces belief. Belief stabilizes attitude. Expectation without action is fantasy. Expectation with action is power. Gratitude keeps expectation grounded. It prevents arrogance collapses under pressure. Gratitude remains stable. Stability is strength. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is humble but confident, hopeful but disciplined. Gratitude also improves relationships. Positive. Relationships strengthen emotional environment. Environment influences mindset. A supportive environment sustains positivity. Grateful individuals attract cooperation. Cooperation accelerates progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Gratitude also prevents burnout. Burnout is emotional exhaustion. Gratitude replenishes emotional energy. Replenished energy sustains long term positivity. An unbreakable mindset does not rely on excitement, it relies on appreciation. Appreciation turns routine into purpose. Purpose sustains effort. Effort produces results. Results reinforce gratitude. This cycle creates mental durability. Positive expectation also eliminates fear of the future. Fear imagines loss, expectation imagines growth, imagination shapes emotion, emotion shapes attitude, gratitude anchors emotion, expectation directs it. Together, they make attitude resilient. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is not loud optimism, it is quiet appreciation, paired with steady anticipation. This combination creates emotional immunity, immunity from discouragement, from bitterness, from despair. Gratitude is practiced, not felt randomly. Practice creates habit. Habit becomes identity. Identity governs behavior. Behavior reinforces attitude. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude weakens. When your time is unmanaged, time disorder creates mental disorder. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is supported by structure. Structure creates predictability. Predictability creates stability. Stability sustains positivity. Most people lose their attitude not because life is difficult, but because their days are chaotic. Chaos drains mental energy. Energy depletion weakens mindset. Routine conserves energy. Conserved energy sustains long term positivity. Time mastery is self mastery. If you do not control your schedule controls you. Being controlled creates resentment. Resentment erodes positivity. Control restores confidence. Confidence stabilizes attitude. A. Disciplined routine reduces decision fatigue. Decision fatigue weakens discipline. Weak discipline erodes positivity. When decisions are pre made, mental energy is preserved. Preserved energy supports focus. Focus strengthens. Mindset, an unbreakable positive mental attitude, thrives on consistency. Consistency creates rhythm. Rhythm creates flow. Flow eliminates resistance. Resistance drains positivity. Daily routine is not restriction. It is liberation, liberation from distraction, liberation from urgency, liberation from emotional chaos. Routine also stabilizes emotion. When your day follows structure, your mind feels safe. Safety reduces stress. Stress weakens. Positivity routine anchors identity. You become someone who shows up daily. Daily appearance builds trust. Self trust strengthens attitude. A predictable routine also improves discipline. Discipline becomes automatic. Automatic. Discipline protects positivity. Time mastery also ensures balance. Overwork exhausts. Underwork creates guilt. Both erode mindset. Balanced routine preserves energy. Energy preservation is positively preservation routine also. Governs input. When you schedule learning, reflection, and rest, your mental environment improves. Improved environment sustains attitude. An unbreakable positive mental attitude requires intentional time blocks. Time for growth, time for effort, time for recovery. Recovery prevents burnout. Burnout destroys positivity. Rest is not laziness, it is maintenance. Maintenance ensures longevity. Longevity supports persistence. Persistence strengthens mindset. Routine also minimizes procrastination. When tasks are scheduled, emotion is removed. Removal of emotion prevents avoidance. Avoidance weakens attitude. Routine enforces action. Action builds momentum. Momentum sustains positivity. Time. Mastery also sharpens priorities. When time is limited, clarity improves, clarity stabilizes mindset. You stop reacting and start executing. Execution builds confidence. Confidence reinforces attitude. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not rely on motivation, it relies on routine. Motivation fluctuates. Routine remains, routine carries you. When motivation disappears, this reliability creates inner certainty. Certainty stabilizes positivity. Routine also strengthens identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries, you see yourself as someone who follows structure. Structure driven identity is powerful. Powerful identities sustain mindset. Time mastery also removes regret. Regret is wasted energy. Routine focuses attention forward. Forward focus preserves positivity. An unbreakable mindset is future oriented. Routine keeps future within reach. Daily progress, even. Small creates satisfaction. Satisfaction fuels gratitude. Gratitude reinforces attitude. Routine also protects focus. Focus is fragile. Routine shields it from interruption. Protected focus strengthens productivity, reinforces belief, belief sustains positivity. Time mastery eliminates urgency, urgency creates anxiety, anxiety weakens mindset, routine replaces urgency. With intention, intention strengthens direction, direction stabilizes attitude. Un- an unbreakable positive mental attitude is calm about time. It respects deadlines but does not panic. Calm improves decision making, better decisions, Strengthen mindset. Routine also makes improvement measurable. When actions repeat, progress becomes visible. Visibility reinforces belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Time mastery transforms days into building blocks. Blocks create structure. Structure creates strength. Strength sustains positivity. Hello. Friends, a positive mental attitude breaks only when decision is weak. Indecision is silent poison. It drains confidence, it creates doubt, it invites fear. An unbreakable mindset is built on clear decisions. Decision gives direction. Direction removes confusion. Confusion destroys positivity. Most people do not fail because they lack ability. They fail because they delay decision. Delay creates mental pressure. Pressure weakens attitude. Decision creates relief. Relief stabilizes the mind. A firm decision ends in a conflict. Conflict consumes energy. Energy loss weakens positivity. Decision saves energy. Saved energy strengthens focus. Focus sharpens mindset. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is decisive, it does not hesitate endlessly. Hesitation breeds fear, fear erodes belief, decision kills fear. When you decide, you take control. Control builds confidence. Confidence reinforces attitude. Decision also creates commitment. Commitment transforms intention into action. Action builds momentum. Momentum sustains positivity without commitment. Decision is powerless. Commitment is decision in motion. Motion keeps the mind alive. Stagnation kills attitude. Commitment also removes excuses. Excuses protect comfort. Comfort weakens growth. Growth strengthens mindset. Committed people do not wait for perfect conditions. They act. Action builds certainty. Certainty stabilizes positivity. An unbreakable mindset is not built on hope, it is built on decision. Hope waits, decision moves, movement creates progress, progress fuels, belief strengthens, attitude. Decision also shapes. Identity you become, what you repeatedly decide. Weak decisions create weak identity. Strong decisions create powerful identity. Powerful identity sustains mindset. Commitment also silences inner noise. Noise creates doubt. Doubt weakens positivity. Committed mind is quiet. Quiet mind is strong. Strength stabilizes attitude. Decision also creates boundaries. Boundaries protect focus. Focus protects energy. Energy preserves positivity. Undecided people are easily distracted. Distracted minds lose attitude. Decision locks direction. Locked direction prevents deviation. Commitment also builds discipline. Discipline removes emotional dependency. Emotion fluctuates, discipline remains. Remaining discipline protects mindset. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not negotiate daily, it follows commitment. Negotiation weakens resolve, resolve strengthens attitude. Decision also ends procrastination. Procrastination feeds guilt, guilt drains positivity. Decision forces action. Action clears guilt. Clear mind supports attitude. Commitment also builds courage. Courage is decision. In the presence of fear, fear does not disappear. Decision dominates fear. Dominance builds confidence. Confidence sustains positivity. Decision also creates responsibility. Responsibility matures the mind. Mature mind is emotionally stable. Stability strengthens attitude. An unbreakable mindset accepts responsibility. Blame weakens mindset. Decision removes blame. Commitment removes escape. Escape weakens character. Character sustains positivity. Decision also simplifies life. Too many options create confusion. Decision narrows. Focus, narrow focus creates power. Power stabilizes attitude. Committed people do not constantly look back. Looking back weakens momentum. Momentum sustains positivity. Decision also trains the subconscious. Repeated commitment builds belief, becomes automatic. Automatic belief protects mindset. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is trained through daily decisions. Small decisions build big strength. Strength accumulates. Accumulated strength becomes inner certainty. Certainty stabilizes positivity. Decision also prepares you for pressure. Pressure tests mindset. Undecided minds collapse. Committed minds adapt. Adaptation preserves attitude. Decision also creates respect. Self respect begins with commitment. Broken promises to self destroy positivity. Kept promises strengthen belief. Belief sustains mindset. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude is reinforced when imagination is consciously Applied, most people think imagination is for artists or dreamers. They are wrong. Imagination is the laboratory of the mind. Your thoughts shape reality. What you can imagine, you can create. An unbreakable positive mental attitude requires envisioning solutions, not just problems. Problems alone drain energy, solutions energize it. When you imagine possibilities, your mind becomes proactive. Proactivity strengthens attitude. Attitude influences behavior. Behavior produces results. Results reinforce belief. Belief sustains positivity. Imagination also expands perspective. Limited thinking keeps mindset confined. Unlimited imagination opens opportunities. Opportunities create hope. Hope fuels positivity. When you practice creative thinking, you see multiple paths instead of a single obstacle. This reduces stress. Stress erodes positivity. Creativity also strengthens confidence. When you generate solutions, internally you trust your capability. Trust stabilizes. Attitude, an unbreakable mindset, relies on internal resources. External validation is secondary. Imagination, allows mental rehearsal. Rehearsal prepares the mind. Prepared mind acts decisively. Decisive action strengthens attitude. Imagination also allows visualization of success, visualizing the desired outcome. Trains subconscious alignment. Subconscious alignment guides behavior. Aligned behavior produces consistent results. Consistency strengthens belief. Belief sustains attitude. An imaginative mind sees opportunity and adversity where others see failure. You see lessons. Lessons build wisdom. Wisdom protects attitude. Creative thinking also prevents stagnation. Routine can be safe. Safety without creativity leads to mediocrity. Creativity introduces flexibility. Flexibility strengthens resilience. Resilience reinforces positivity. Imagination also fuels innovation. Innovative approaches overcome obstacles. Efficiently overcoming obstacles maintains momentum. Momentum sustains attitude. Unbreakable positivity is rooted in solutions, not in complaints. Your imagination must be disciplined. Random fantasy is distracting. Focused. Imagination guided by purpose builds strength. Purpose anchors creativity. Anchored creativity preserves mental energy. Energy fuels consistent action. Action strengthens belief. Belief stabilizes attitude. An imaginative mind also anticipates challenges. Anticipation reduces surprise. Surprise creates stress. Reduced stress maintains positivity. Imagination also encourages learning. Learning new approaches strengthens capability. Capability builds confidence. Confidence sustains mindset. A strong imagination transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Obstacles teach strategy. Strategy reinforces belief. Belief fortifies attitude. Unbreakable positive mental. Attitude requires imagination applied daily. Daily practice shapes identity. Identity governs behavior. Behavior enforces mindset. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude cannot survive without discipline. Discipline is the foundation upon which mental strength is built. Without discipline, motivation fades, focus scatters, energy drains. An unbreakable positive mental attitude requires daily practice of self control. Most people think discipline is punishment. They are wrong. Discipline is freedom. Freedom from distraction, freedom from procrastination, freedom from weakness. When you are disciplined, you do what must be done, even when you do not feel like it. Doing what must be done strengthens belief. Belief reinforces attitude. Self discipline also builds consistency. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum produces results. Results reinforce confidence. Confidence stabilizes attitude. And unbreakable mindset maintains habits even in discomfort. Discomfort tests, discipline persists, persistence sustains positivity. Discipline also protects focus. Undisciplined minds allow interruptions. Interruptions destroy momentum. Protected focus preserves mental energy. Mental energy fuels positive attitude. Self discipline also controls impulses. Impulses are emotional reactions. Emotional reactions erode stability. A disciplined mind responds deliberately. Deliberate responses protect attitude. An unbreakable positive mental attitude does not react to every stimulus. It chooses carefully what it responds to. Self discipline also governs routines. Daily habits shape identity. Identity governs behavior. Behavior reinforces attitude. When you maintain disciplined routines, your mindset strengthens. Daily discipline also builds resilience. Life is unpredictable. Discipline ensures stability. Even under stress, stability protects positivity. An undisciplined mind breaks under pressure. A disciplined mind adapts, perseveres, thrives. Discipline also eliminates excuses. Excuses feed weakness. Weakness undermines attitude. Discipline demands accountability. Accountability builds confidence. Confidence sustains positivity. Self discipline also improves. Focus on goals. Goals without discipline remain fantasies. Discipline turns goals into action plans. Action produces progress. Progress strengthens belief. Belief reinforces attitude. An unbreakable mindset executes consistently, plans thoroughly, and protects itself. Discipline also strengthens patience. Patience allows long term consistency. Long term consistency produces mastery. Mastery stabilizes positive mental attitude. Without discipline, effort is. Random effort produces frustration. Frustration erodes mindset. Self discipline removes randomness. It produces structured effort. Structured effort builds momentum. Momentum maintains positivity. Discipline also governs. Emotional control. You choose your response rather than react impulsively. Emotional control preserves energy. Energy fuels positive attitude. Self discipline also teaches delayed gratification. Immediate desire weakens mindset. Delayed gratification strengthens it. When you resist short term temptation, you reinforce self respect. Self respect protects positivity. Discipline also reinforces decision making. When you commit, you act according to plan. Acting according to plan strengthens confidence. Confidence reinforces attitude. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is structured, consistent, focused, and disciplined. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement. Without discipline, intentions remain dreams. With discipline, dreams become reality. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude is tested most. When life becomes unpredictable, resilience is the ability to recover quickly from setbacks. Adaptability is the ability to adjust smoothly to change. An unbreakable positive mental attitude combines both resilience and adaptability. Without them, even a strong mindset can falter. Most people crumble under pressure because they resist change. Resistance creates stress. Stress drains positivity. Resilience restores equilibrium. Adaptability prevents collapse. When you face obstacles, resilient minds recover without losing momentum. Adaptive minds find alternate routes. Together, resilience and adaptability maintain continuous progress. An unbreakable mindset does not see failure as permanent, it sees it as temporary feedback. Feedback is opportunity. Opportunity strengthens belief. Belief reinforces attitude. Resilience also builds. Emotional endurance. Endurance allows you to face discomfort without complaint. Discomfort tests character. Character stabilizes attitude. Adaptability also improves problem solving. Fixed minds fail. Flexible minds adjust. Adjustment reduces frustration. Frustration erodes positivity. When you practice flexibility daily, your mind becomes a solution machine. Solutions generate confidence. Confidence sustains attitude. An unbreakable positive mental. Attitude accepts that change is constant. Resistance to change creates internal conflict. Internal conflict drains energy. Energy sustains positivity. Resilient minds remain calm. Calm preserves clarity. Clarity allows better decisions. Better decisions produce progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief strengthens attitude. Resilience also protects self esteem. Setbacks are inevitable without resilience. Setbacks feel personal with resilience. Setbacks feel instructional. Instruction strengthens capability. Capability builds confidence. Confidence stabilizes attitude. Adaptability also protects relationships. Rigid behavior breeds conflict. Flexible behavior encourages cooperation. Cooperation accelerates success. Success reinforces mindset. Resilience also prevents discouragement. Discouragement weakens effort. Effort sustains momentum. Momentum maintains positivity. An unbreakable mindset views adversity as temporary, challenges as growth, and change as opportunity. Resilience and adaptability together create mental immunity. Immunity from despair, from panic, from stagnation. When practiced daily, they become automatic. Automatic resilience, automatic adaptability protects positive mental attitude even under extreme stress. This combination builds unstoppable persistence. Persistence is the engine of an unbreakable mindset. Even when others quit, you continue. Even when progress is slow, you remain positive. Even when circumstances shift, you adapt without fear. An unbreakable positive mental attitude is emotionally anchored, flexible in action, and resilient in spirit. Hello, friends. A positive mental attitude is not developed in isolation. Your environment, the people you associate with, and the information you consume all shape your mindset. An unbreakable positive mental attitude requires deliberate control over your surroundings. Most people allow negative influences to infiltrate their thoughts. Toxic environments and pessimistic people drain energy, erode confidence, and weaken attitude. Positive association creates reinforcement. When you surround yourself with supportive, ambitious, and positive individuals, your mind absorbs their energy. Energy fuels positivity. Supportive people reinforce belief. Belief strengthens attitude. An unbreakable mindset seeks out those who uplift, challenge constructively, and inspire action. Negative influences should be minimized or removed. Your environment dictates your mental climate. Climate controls emotional weather. Emotional weather influences decisions. Decisions shape action. Action produces results. Results reinforce belief. Belief strengthens attitude. An unbreakable positive mental attitude requires disciplined information consumption. What you read, watch, and listen to influences your subconscious mind. Subconscious mind governs emotion. Emotion sustains attitude. Consume information that educates, inspires, and motivates. Avoid content that breeds doubt, fear, or negativity. Your mind is fertile soil. Positive influence nurtures growth. Negative influence invites weeds. Weeds drain energy. Weeds destroy clarity. Clarity stabilizes attitude. Your closest relationships directly impact mindset. Surround yourself with people who have similar goals, who reinforce effort, who celebrate progress. Association with success creates belief in possibility. Belief reinforces positive mental attitude. Your environment also includes physical space. Cluttered spaces create mental noise. Clean, organized, and purposeful spaces support focus. Focus preserves energy. Energy maintains positivity. Positive environments encourage action. Action produces momentum. Momentum strengthens belief. Belief stabilizes attitude. And unbreakable positive mental attitude is consciously cultivated by controlling association, environment, and input. It is not passive, it is intentional. Intentional association protects positivity. Positive reinforcement from your circle strengthens identity. Identity guides behavior. Behavior reinforces attitude. And unbreakable mindset is proactive in choosing surroundings. It removes distractions, avoids toxic influences, and invests in uplifting relationships. The people you meet, the places you spend time, the content you absorb become extensions of your mind. Choose them wisely. Positive surroundings fortify attitude. Negative surroundings weaken it. Hello, friends. The final step to an unbreakable positive mental attitude is integration. All the previous steps must work together in harmony: vision, decision, responsibility, gratitude, routine, imagination, discipline, resilience, environment. Each is a pillar. Neglect any one, and the structure weakens. Integration is synergy. Synergy multiplies effect. When you combine all principles daily, your positive mental attitude becomes self sustaining. You no longer rely on circumstances. External events do not dictate your mindset. You control your reaction. Your thoughts, emotions, and behavior are aligned. Alignment produces power. Power reinforces confidence. Confidence stabilizes attitude. Integration begins with a clear schedule. Daily habits incorporate vision, gratitude, decision, and effort. Effort generates progress. Progress reinforces belief. Belief strengthens mindset. Integration also requires reflection. Reflect on your actions, choices, and attitude. Reflection identifies gaps. Gaps create opportunities for improvement. Improvement builds capability, strengthens confidence, reinforces positivity. Integration also requires accountability. Hold yourself responsible for successes and failures. Responsibility strengthens resilience. Resilience stabilizes attitude. Integration combines mental, emotional, and behavioral training. Mental training, vision. Focus, imagination, emotional training, gratitude, expectation, patience, behavioral training, decision, discipline, action. Together they form a complete system, a system that protects positivity, even under stress. Or pressure integration also emphasizes adaptation. Change is constant. Your mindset must remain flexible without losing core principles. Adaptation preserves momentum, momentum sustains progress. Integration is daily practice. It is not occasional motivation. Daily repetition reinforces identity. Identity governs behavior. Behavior sustains attitude. Integration also includes association and environment. Positive influence amplifies all principles, negative influence diminishes them. Be deliberate in choosing surroundings. Integration creates internal harmony. Internal harmony generates stability. Stability protects positivity. When all principles are integrated, positive mental attitude becomes automatic. You respond to challenges without panic or despair. You maintain focus without distraction. You act decisively. Without hesitation, you persevere. Without quitting, you continue. Learning without complaint. You maintain gratitude. Without expectation, you visualize success. Without doubt, you strengthen your body and mind. Without. Khatige integration turns effort into mastery. Mastery stabilizes belief. Belief reinforces attitude. Attitude produces consistent results. Results reinforce confidence. Confidence protects positivity. An unbreakable positive mental attitude becomes permanent. It is not influenced by circumstances. It is not destroyed by obstacles. It is a state of being, a state of resilience, focus, clarity. And joy integration also prepares you for leadership. Positive mental attitude radiates influence. Others are inspired by your calm, confident, and solution focused mindset. Leadership multiplies impact. Your mindset becomes a beacon of positivity, discipline, and purpose. Integration ensures your attitude is future focused, solution oriented, and self sustaining. It is the ultimate power, the combination of vision, decision, responsibility, gratitude, routine, imagination, discipline, resilience, and continuous practice produces permanent transformation. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a master of your mind. You control thoughts, emotions, actions. And environment, you harness every experience as fuel for growth. You maintain momentum even when obstacles arise. You act with clarity, confidence, and purpose. You cultivate daily habits that reinforce identity. Identity governs behavior. Behavior strengthens attitude. Attitude produces results. Results reinforce confidence. Confidence secures your positive mental attitude. This is the culmination of all 20 steps. Your mindset is now unbreakable, permanent, disciplined, resilient, and solution focused. An internal fortress that protects and sustains positivity through every challenge, distraction, and setback. You are ready to apply these principles daily, consistently, intentionally,